All right, are we ready? Okay, good morning, everyone. This is the special called meeting on May 30th, 2022 at 10 a.m. To certify the Georgia primary election results. Happy Memorial Day, everyone, and thanks for your service for those who have served. I'm going to call the meeting to order now and ask for any amendments to the agenda.
Madam Chair, yes, we would like to add a section in here for advanced voting locations and dates to be added to today's agenda.
Okay, we want to approve the advanced voting location and dates for the primary runoff elections. Is there a second?
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. It's added to the agenda. With that addition, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. The agenda is approved. First item of business is certification of election results for the May general primary election. Ms. Williams, would you like to walk us through this?
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board. We believe we had a successful election. We presented to you all the official and complete election results for all races. We plan on doing an after-action review to see what improvements can be made with any issues that we did have. There were minor issues, of course, as is with all elections, but we will have an extra action plan to make sure we work those out. We had all 30 advanced voting locations operating. We plan to do the same for the runoff election. And if you all approve the official results are presented to you, we would like you to certify the election.
Okay, are there any questions?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. For purposes of accuracy and clarification, in looking at the report that the department puts, this statement of votes cast, Fulton County, Georgia General Primary Nonpartisan General Election, May 24, 2022, official and complete. Then underneath that, it has Fulton County School Board D5. Is there a reason why that is singularly stated on this document?
The D5, you received a separate report for that election? Is that what you're asking?
I just didn't know why it was
Yes,
at
there
the
wasn't.
heading of this particular report.
Right, we had to separate that from the official results. There was an issue with that particular race. All those things were rectified with the Center for Election Systems, so that's why that report is separate, but that is accurate total for that race.
Okay. Further to that, if I look at this report, it's stating that in terms of registered voters, which are active registered voters, as we would define it, 736,394. And we're showing voters cast at 185,840. Now, if I refer you to the election summary report, that report reflects a registered voters of 186,374 of 700 votes against 737,975 active registered voters. So, folks, we just, if we're going to be looking at these numbers and percentages, we have to be accurate and know for sure exactly which numbers that we're dealing with here, because depending on what set is correct, then it throws every percentage off potentially. I think mathematically would throw every percentage off. So
Let's let her speak. Let's let her speak to that.
okay, and let me finish my calmness before, okay?
Calm down.
I'm talking. No,
I thought you
won't.
were done. I thought you were finished. No, I don't always interrupt you.
Good morning, everyone. So, you have number of registered voters to be 186 and 347, 74 out of 700,000 737,975, which is 25% of the total number of registered voters in Fulton County. And I believe the ballot cast, I believe that's the question. The ballot cast number, which is 369,337.
So Dominic, if you look at the special printout on the School Board District 5,
Okay.
those three numbers are different. They look to be off by about 1,000. I'm being very rough with my estimation on that. So the number of registered voters, the number of people who voted. Do you see that?
No, not yet, Madam Chairman. I'm still trying to look right there. 'Cause this- Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, I see what Mr. Wingate is talking about now. But the on the CAT report, we have 736,394 registered voters. And on the summary report, we have 737,975. I will look at this. This is the first time I'm saying this number is this mismatch. But I will look at it on the server end. Probably the report that was sent out to, I'm trying to look at the date, 4:30 p.m. Probably the discrepancy report that was sent out, because the number of registered voters should be the same across the board. I mean, with the election summary report and the SOVC.
Ms. Williams, did you have a comment to make about that? Because the dates are actually, the timestamp is not that different on these.
Yes, I see the timestamp too. Actually, I looked at this timestamp, but again, the time I pulled the report on the server, I pulled different results from the server that was from yesterday, I believe, yes. So probably the one I gave to Derek, who emailed it out to Jessica, maybe print out the first one, because after we printed out the first election summary report, we found out like some discrepancies in the registered voters. So I had to go back in to make sure the accurate registered voters were entered into each precinct, and I printed another result. So I'm thinking the only reason I could say for now is until I go back on the server to actually verify, is to say probably the wrong result was SOVC was sent to Jessica.
Okay, so what you're saying is the big report that you sent out early to accommodate us so that we would have a chance to look at it on final resolution with a different number that should match up with the Senate District 5 work that went on? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am. So with District 5, oh, okay, yeah, I see now. It's District 5. So with District 5, you should have a little bit of discrepancies, because what happened with District 5 was there was a precinct that should not be reporting at District 5. So we had to take those numbers out from the total number of registered voters. Okay, I was looking at the wrong report. I was looking at both election summary report for the general election for the total, not District 5. So I believe we're comparing District 5 with SOVC with the general election SOVC. So, Mr. Wingate, to answer your question, we had to take out the precinct that should not be part of District 5. So taking that precinct out would definitely reduce the number of registered voters.
And do you have an ability to show us the number that were in the precinct that you took out so we can see that it matches up with the numbers that we're looking at?
I'll have to go back to look at the total number of registered voters in that precinct. I don't have a record of that right here.
Okay. Mr. Wingate?
Which of these numbers are you asking us to certify?
So we're stating that both numbers are correct, that the difference of District 5 is not on the District 5 report. So all of these numbers actually on the report are correct, but we'll give you the exact number with the number of registered voters. He doesn't have that in front of him. We will provide that to you. But the actual results for the election itself, which is at the bottom of the report, are accurate.
So we are going by the numbers on the election summary report that I have in my hand?
Yes, sir. The times cast, the undervotes, overvotes, and the candidate, the votes that went towards the candidates, those numbers are accurate. That's presented in front of you.
Okay.
Accurate as presented in front of me because it includes the totals from District 5 and the additional precinct. But
Yes,
when you
ma'am.
take the precinct out, then it adjusts the overall numbers.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Ms. Wingate? You good? You can continue. All right, other questions? All right,
Are we trying to get, I'm sorry, maybe I misunderstood. Are we trying to get every issue that we're aware of on the table now?
yes.
Okay, sorry. You're gonna have to indulge me a little bit more, just so that, to me, that it's understood. There was this is one of those department, or Board of Education districts, District 7. I don't know whether, I think you all have seen this stuff. I hope you have. This Mr. Chin sent an email, and I guess he's
Yes,
got some confusion, or there's some questions that he had that he was looking to have answered.
yes, if I can answer that. What happened with his particular race, he saw election results reporting on other websites that are not ours. They're not on the it was not the SOS's website, it was not our website. He went to third-party news channel websites and saw results totals that are not our own. We cannot control what other people report, and that's what I was trying to explain to Mr. Chin, that those results are not our official results, where he saw on other websites online.
If I understood correctly, I believe those screenshots came from WSB.
I
Is
believe.
what I was told that. I have no earthly idea if that's
Right, he
true or
said he
not.
received it from several different, he only said one screenshot, but he said he saw different results on different
How would the
sources
media-
online.
How would the media get something like that?
I don't know
I mean,
how they get their numbers.
I'm not picking here, but I mean, it just doesn't make any sense, does it? Because that, I believe that woman, was it Miss Arnold?
Yes.
Had taken herself out of the contest.
That's correct. She withdrew, I forgot the date, but she withdrew before the ballots were printed, before the machines were programmed, so she is not anywhere on the ballot.
So across our entire process, we never reported one vote. for
Not
this Miss
one,
Arnold.
because she was never on the ballot.
Okay, good, thank you, great, good, all right. Was there any resolve to that issue in SSO 5 where, ballots were being given, but the candidates were not on the ballot?
SSO 5 is even though it's at, I believe I want to say, the church where that precinct is housed, it is housed with it's SSO 5, I believe, in SS 18A and B. Even though they're voting in the same facility, they're in two different school districts. So those voters get different ballots. That's why they have a different precinct label. SSO 5 does not have the same ballot as SS 18. And that's where the confusion was for that one.
Nadine, let me ask you this, because going forward, that, I think one of the first one that came up was up, unfortunately, where I live in APO 1B, but then we had APO 7B and C. In Election Day, that precinct is the same for those three particular, so we all vote in one location. Is there any way that we can prevent having multiple ballot styles in a voting location? Is that?
No, because geographically, we have to find places for people to vote.
Right.
Sometimes when their precincts are close to each other, we find a facility that can house the people that live in the area. The polling locations on election day are based on where people live. So that way they can have easy access to that polling location. But people need to be aware of their precinct, which is the letters that we're saying SSO 5 or SS 18. Those sample ballots are posted in the facility for them to see their precinct, their sample ballot. They're also on the person's MVP page. So because they're going to the same facility to vote, does not mean that you necessarily have the same ballot. That the ballot you receive is based on your voting address, for your actual residence, your address of,
Yeah, I'm
thank
not-
you.
I wasn't, my point is there any logical way to where that could be combined to where there
If
wouldn't be any
we,
difference?
for some, like I said, it's based off geography. It's the only thing we can do, yeah.
So the answer really is. It's
No,
not really
we have too many precincts for us to geographically work all that out. If we did that, we'd have more than 250 sites for people to vote. And we'd have to staff all those sites for every single election day.
Did you all figure out and resolve what happened with the ballots in the emergency bin case?
All those have been pulled and scanned. All scanners have been checked, and all those ballots have been pulled and counted.
So that
And
was
they're
that was
reflected in
strictly
these
an
totals.
oversight error, was,
Yes, if the poll manager did not pull them out of that bin, that's why when the equipment comes in, we go ahead and pull all those, make sure that we double check all the scanners. If anything has not been pulled, those ballots are scanned and those totals are counted in these election results.
okay, I've got one last question, and it just came popping onto my little machine this morning from Garland Favorito. And I don't know what he has done or what he hasn't done in requesting an ORR on these things. I don't think that, at least what I read in his message wasn't clear, but has that been received by the attorneys and people here?
Yes, it was received by our county as well as several other counties of his request, and the attorneys in SOS are reviewing his request.
Okay, so that's in the right hands. Okay, thanks, appreciate it.
Okay. Questions? All right, are we ready to go? Ms. Williams, how shall we do this? Do we need to do it by, I know I have to sign, we all have to sign multiple pieces of paper for multiple ballot questions? Do we just en blanc do the entire, all of the primary results that we have here?
Yes, I believe so.
Is that good? Sound good to everybody? Any
How
reason?
many of these do we have to sign?
Oh, quite a few, because we have SPOS
I was thinking
questions
about
and
that,
things.
so roughly how many are there, Kathy?
I'd say 10, 12.
10, 12, okay, all right.
But the results are contained in here. I just didn't know if we had to do them separately, but it doesn't. So, Ms. Williams, so these are then the official, complete, and true election results to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am?
May I have a motion?
Make a motion to accept the ballots cast for,
The election results
Election.
from the general primary election?
yep.
I'll second with the caveat of the potential, the correction coming through for the numbers. That's my only statement to that, so. But
It can't be, I don't think it can be
I can't do that.
contingent.
No.
I'll ask the attorney. I don't think we can make the election results contingent on that.
you want to do it,
All right, why don't we take a minute?
Just so it's on the record.
Why don't we take a minute? And if we can do it in the time it takes us to do the other business, we'll do it. If not, maybe we will figure out how to continue. Let's see. You want to move then to the confirmation of runoff election dates and activities? Shall I just read
Yes.
these highlighted? Is that right? All right, this is just a notice for the public as we move into the runoff elections that we normally have here. Just note that I'm just going to read these from the Secretary of State's Election Division. Important runoff activity dates: May 31st, which is tomorrow, is the deadline for political parties and candidates to designate poll watchers for the June 21st general runoff advance voting, and June 7th is the deadline to designate poll watchers for the day of the runoff. June 10th is the last day to submit an absentee ballot application for the June general runoff election. June 13th begins advance voting for the June 21st general primary. Is that correct for us?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
The Secretary of State's Election Division says June 13th is advance voting for the June 21st general.
Right, that's the date that you must start, but you can start early if you would like.
Okay, so we'll work on that
Yes.
in the next motion,
Yes.
okay. And then June 21st, I should have read these backwards, probably to be most helpful, is the general primary election, nonpartisan general election, special election runoff, and federal runoff. So June 21st, voters, mark your calendars, and if you want to submit an absentee ballot application, do that by June 10th. Okay, we'll move on from there. Any questions, comments about that? Nope. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
We will come up with the dates.
Yeah, we're getting ready to move to
Right,
that.
okay.
All right, Ms. Williams, you want to approve the advance voting locations and dates for the runoff?
Yes, we are proposing to begin advanced voting on Saturday, June 11th, to include the Sunday, and to complete advanced voting, on June 17th. The hours we're proposing are from 9 to 5 each day. And we will, if we are waiting to get confirmation that it's a statewide election, so we would like to use all 30 sites that we used for the May 24th election as well.
Okay, and do we need to make a motion to approve these now?
Yes, please.
Okay, so can I just rephrase this? We will, the motion should be, for whomever decides to do it, is to approve all 30 advanced voting locations that we used for the primary. And then the dates would be that we would begin Saturday, June 11th, continue on the 12th, and end on the 17th. Would someone make that motion?
9 to 5,
9 to 5.
so moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? There are none. We've now approved the advanced voting location and dates for the runoff. All right, back to the certification at hand. Have you all managed to come up with the numbers?
So I have the number that Mr. Wingate requested for, and it's, hold on. Yes, I'm trying. Sir, if you can turn to, on your SOVC for Fulton County School Board District 5. Let me see, on the general primary nonpartisan general election, statement of vote cast, page 1. On page 5, on the back page of page 5, you should see SC05C. Registered voter number is 1,581.
1,581, so if you subtract that,
No, actually, we need to add 1,581 to the total number that we have, total number of registered voters that we have on Fulton County School District Board, to get the total number that we have on the general primary. So I add in 1,850,
one,
adding 1,581 to
736,294.
yeah,
Yeah.
to 736,394. That should give us a total number of 737,975.
okay.
Yep.
Is that good?
Okay, so it's clear, at the end of the line here, we're actually certifying via this election summary report, 186,374 voters out of 737,975 current registered voters who are active. Is that correct?
Correct, sir.
Okay.
All right, can I have a motion?
Make a motion to certify in accordance with this primary election.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of certifying the primary election here in Fulton County from our May 24th election, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? There are none. I was just making sure I got that date right. The motion carries. Thank you. The election is certified. I just want to thank the staff for your hard work. You were incredibly diligent. There's always little issues here and there in elections, but I will say here and statewide, the additional activity related to redistricting on such a tight time schedule was really a challenge. Ms. Marshall, I just want to thank you and your team for your incredible work over the last 2 months. I know no one sees how hard you work, but we know how hard you work, and I just want to thank you for that. I'm sure it's not over yet, but for the most part. And Ms. Bodison, thank you so much for the diligence with the absentee balloting processes. That always is a lot of work, and we don't see that also. So thank you for the whole team specifically, and I will now accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in,
Aye.
we good?
Aye.
All those
Yep.
in favor, please say aye.
Good.
Aye. It passes. The motion is adjourned. Thank you. All right.